good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome back to Yankee's Corner of Poor Opinions. I'm your host, Yankee, and let's begin with something that will probably get some people upset at me. Among Us. I don't like Among Us. I think it's very, very much so. I think it's lived past its lifetime. I don't think Among Us should be around anymore, and I don't see why people still like it. The design is lazy. The art style is it's not very good. It's lazy. I just don't see the appeal in it. Like I played it a little bit. I had some fun, but I haven't played it very much. And it's just forgettable. The only reason that I think it's popular is because it's cheap or free depending on the platform, and it's easily accessible to a lot of people, which is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm always happy to see more people enjoying things, especially today. But I don't know. I guess it's a mobile game. A lot of mobile games are cheap and lazy, especially nowadays. And the memes that come out of Among Us are very, very painfully unfunny in my eyes. Not the ironic memes, like the one that's just a Photoshop picture of Derma. I find that funny because it's ironic. You know, it's playing off Among Us and the people who unironically make jokes about it, like meme about Among Us. Uh, I don't know. Whenever things, I know this is gonna sound like, I don't know, maybe not elitist, but kind of like a neckbeardy thing. When normal people find out about things, they become not funny anymore. Which, think of it like an inside joke. And once you say it so many times, people are going to start repeating it, and then it's not going to be funny anymore. Because it's just so oversaturated with people who are making the same joke over and over again. And it's just not funny. I don't think Among Us, I never really liked it when I played it. I thought, oh, it's a funny little game when I first knew what it was, and now I look at it and I feel nothing but deep, deep, deep sadness and remorse forever having played it. The thing that kind of really made me like, ugh, towards the game, very, maybe not hostile, but not in favor of the game, was when I took a Spanish class not that long ago, and we were learning the colors. Well, we had learned them the year before, but we were relearning them now. We used Among Us. My teacher had used Among Us to teach us the colors, and for what it is, it wasn't bad. You know, if people had fun, that's good, and it was a good way to teach us because, you know, there were a bunch of smooth-brained children, so of course they'll love the funny little spaceman. Uh, but other than that, it was nothing special. It was pretty much just a bunch. It was just Among Us in Spanish. That was the crux of the game. I didn't even get to play because I had to give my phone to someone else because they didn't have their phone because they were grounded. But yeah, I pretty much played enforcer, make sure people were using Spanish during council meetings or emergency meetings. That's what they're called. Which is you know, you kind of just sit there, have to be the rules police. A thing that really annoys me is when I go on Snapchat and I go to look at stories, people's stories, because believe it or not, I do have some friends. Mostly the people who post are I'm not friends with. I don't care to be because their posts annoy me, and I just what I see does not paint a good picture of them. And I'm sure they're fine people. I don't hate them or anything. I just feel like people should be smart about what they put on the internet. Anyway, back to talking about this. uh, the stories where it's like these groups or like companies or whatever, they put out these stories, like these news stories or whatever, and it's Among Us. I've had to hide like 4 of these things so I don't have to see them because it's, for lack of a better term, it's cringe. It's really just cringe. Like I can't stand it. I don't I don't want to look at it anymore. And it's almost every time, like every day, I go on there and I see another one of these Among Us things, and it's painful. It is genuinely painful to see. It's like that. It's like that picture of Walter White in that flashback from, oh, what was that movie called? Of course, I forget it now. It's like was it Elsino? I'm getting it wrong, and I don't care to look it up right now. But it's that Breaking Bad movie that was kind of a sequel to the show, which is pretty good. The show and the movie. I think Breaking Bad is pretty good. I started to rewatch. I started to rewatch it not that long ago. Sorry for my speech impediment. Well, when I say not long ago, I mean like this was probably last year. I just haven't bothered to finish it. It's not because, I don't like it or anything. I do. I love Breaking Bad. It's just I get lazy, Like, oh, I'll watch this tomorrow, and I never end up doing it. Which is kind of just something I need to get better at. Well, just not just watching shows, but in general, I need to like force myself to do things I don't like. I've gotten better at it recently, but other than that, I'm still kind of a lazy bum, which you'll get, everyone's lazy sometimes. It's just a matter of being open about it and admitting that, yeah, you're lazy. It doesn't help that quarantine has forced people to either have a great work ethic or just completely break under pressure. Especially, I feel like it's especially students, with work. I feel like it's a lot different because you have obviously the incentive of getting paid, or as with students, you don't have that. And why would I get on Zoom to ask a teacher for help when I could just do anything else? Like I could get on Steam, play a game. I could go on Discord, talk to my friends. So I think I probably talked about this last episode, but it's hard to be motivated during quarantine. Thankfully, we're not in quarantine anymore. Well, school's out for the holidays, so that's good. Also, I guess this is the Christmas episode, because what is it? It's in like 5 days. Christmas in like 5 days, and I'll do one next week, but it won't be a Christmas thing. It'll be, I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, because I still got a whole week to not plan and do everything last minute and record and upload at like 11:59, because as long as it's in the last minute, I can say, hey, I did it in a week, which I'm actually off by a day, because I uploaded my first episode last Saturday, excuse me, and it's Sunday currently, so I'll get better. I just need to force myself to record more often, because I'm lazy. I admit it. I know. Moving on. As I was doing, maybe not editing, but doing something with the last video, using, because I'm poor. I use Adobe Rush Premiere. What is it called? Yeah, Adobe Premiere Rush. Excuse me. Because it's like $10 a month, because there's no good free editing software, at least not that I could find, and I'd rather use something that won't give me a virus. So I'm paying about $10 a month for this thing. It's not lucrative. I'm not gonna attempt to say the word. It's not very expensive. On my budget, I can afford it. cleaning dishes in a hot, messy kitchen for for pennies an hour. I don't actually get paid pennies an hour. Don't investigate my workplace, please. The place I work at is a fine family establishment, I assure you. I'm sorry about getting sidetracked. Anyway, I was doing something. It was rendering the video so I could put it onto YouTube, like transfer it from Adobe to YouTube. And I was like, what is taking it so long? And I check my internet, it's fine. And I go to my task manager, and I see that that Adobe Premiere, is using 100% of my CPU, which for the non, for the people who don't know what that means, it's bad. uh, and my computer has never been the same. Uh, it makes weird noises, like the fans are really going hard, and it's just well, it's fine, I plan on putting new fans in sometime, even though I've had this thing for about a year now, maybe more, and I've yet to put more fans in. It's just the two fans that come in the case, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to, just pour milk on my CPU to cool it down, or any other great Linus Tech tips like that. I'm disclosure. I'm not advocating you pour milk on your computer, because that is obviously a poor decision. Now, what else? So I'm thinking about some other things I want to do. Well, if you know me in real life, I'm big history buff. I've always done well in history. I've always loved it. I've always loved learning about history. So I've been thinking about maybe I can branch into making maybe not educational videos, but fun history videos. I think oversimplified, but less talent. Really, it's just gonna be me going through slideshows essentially, and rattling off historical tidbits and probably getting sidetracked. But for that, I'll probably have a more refined script, one that isn't just bullet points on a Google Doc. But another thing, I've always liked music. I've never, of course, I don't think I'm confident enough to make my own music or even do anything like that. But maybe one day. And art, I've never been good at art. Like I said last episode, I did one thing I'm proud of, but maybe I'll do like a series of vlogs where I show my evolution and my journey to becoming a better artist, which I might get around to. I want to get around to it because you have like a paint. You ever have like a painting in your head that you really want to do, but you just can't because you suck at art? That's pretty much my experience with art. Like, I have a bunch of good ideas in my head, but I can't put pen to paper or paint to canvas or whatever. Of course, I can't afford canvases because they're expensive, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not gonna find out. I don't have nearly enough money. Christmas has bankrupted me. It's not bankrupted me, but the money I put into my account with my debit card, that's all gone. Because I was a good boy. I bought my friends gifts. It was the first year I've done this, because it's the first year I've had my own form of income outside of birthdays and Christmas, obviously. But I want to get into those kinds of things, like music, art, historical videos. And I know this is overdone, but I might go into games, like talking about them. Maybe doing like those weird video, maybe not weird, but like video essays that people do. Reviewing games and you know, it's a matter of, do I have the stamina for it? Like, how long? Because that's really intense stuff. Like, you have to edit a lot of stuff for that, which I don't know if I'm suited for just quite yet. I might stick with this low effort form of video making because, you know, it doesn't take more than 2% of my brain to do, which frankly I don't have more than 2% of my brain. But I'm sure maybe I'll hire an editor or something once I have big YouTube dollars, which I don't think is ever gonna happen. If it does good, and if I continue to do this, maybe I will get someone to edit my things, but I'll probably just do, I'll just probably just record me and my friends playing games and being mean to each other. And that looking at the time, we're about done. So let's end with our general life advice. Keep on being you, because eventually someone will love you for you. It might take a very long time, but you shouldn't have to change for anyone, because if someone loves you, they should love you for you, and not for what they think is you. So you need to be honest about who you are, and what you like. There are a few exceptions. I'm not saying like if you're an adult you need to completely change yourself, but if you're growing up, late teens, early teens, whatever, you're gonna naturally evolve into your adult self over the course of, your time being a teenager. And growing is, of course, a lifelong process. No one's really the same at like 25 as they are at 85. This is all about getting that life experience and how you let those life experiences shape you. I would give an example, but I'm a bit of a chimp, so my examples probably aren't the best, and nothing is universal. Well, things are universal. Many things are universal, but not everyone's experience will be 100% the same, which I think is a good thing, because you can compare and contrast your experience with someone else, and then you can come back from that having learned, having grown, which I guess is what I want you to take away from this video, from this little segment, is that you can always grow, you can always improve, but you should never stop being who you are at heart. And with that, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so very much for listening in today. Have a wonderful day. If you like what you hear, like and subscribe. I post videos vaguely every week. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions for future content, leave a comment and let me know. I'll see you all next week.